What's going on? Welcome to Reality NSFW. We're talking Survivor Season 42, episode number 10. I'm Lauren Pratt, along with my co-host, Sarah Hart. And today we are joined by, yet again, one of our favorite people that has been on this podcast many a times. It is Lyrsa from David versus Goliath. Pow, 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 pow.
Lyrsa, you're muted.
And Lyrsa's muted. This is exactly the way that we want to start this podcast.
Okay. Ba 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 ba. What's up, ladies? Doing tonight. My God.
I'm so here for this. We are glad to have you back. It's been a couple weeks. So how are you feeling about how the season's progressed and the merge that we're dealing with right now?
I feel good. It's been a good season. I feel it's been a good season. Also a very educational season, which I like a lot because, as I said plenty of times before, Survivor, it is a microcosm of what we actually live. And these are things that we need to talk about. So it's been like a really good season. Like it a lot. And I like the people that are still there. I mean, I still have 3 people there. So, yeah, I love it.
You're about to bring up the draft right now? Come on now.
No, we can't wait. We can wait.
We can wait until you guys can all, knock me down a couple pegs. It's not fair. But, Sarah, what did you think of this week's episode?
I thought it was a good episode. I thought the strategy talk was interesting. The beginning to see more about the island living was, I always like seeing people kind of get dragged down and then come back up. So it makes an interesting dynamic. So I enjoyed the episode. It's not been my favorite, but good.
Well, and speaking of interesting dynamics, we jump right into the episode where they're coming back to camp because they were on 2 separate groups having to go vote. And so you have all the aftermath of that and the whole Roxroy situation. So let's dive into that then.
All right. Well, I mean, it pretty much starts with them just shivering in the rain.
Oof. It gave me PTSD, that episode, a little bit. Ooh. Yeah, well, the beach and the rain.
The whole time, right? Your season was
yes. I still have issues with the rain. Yes, I hate the rain. I used to love it, and now I hate it. It rained a lot.
I can't
yes.
imagine.
Yes, I'm just still remembering and a couple of weeks ago I went to the theater, and when I came out it was raining and I didn't have anything. I freaked out. I totally freaked out because I went back to would I get home and I'll get dry or will I still be wet? It was super weird. Mindfuck. It was mindfuck. Sorry, it's part of my French.
NSFW, so you don't need to you know that quite too well.
Yes, this is the channel of the blue pill, so yes. No pardon.
Yes, the blue chill. We already went there. But I do want to talk about kind of the conversation between Omar and Mike, because I thought that was kind of something really important that we should dive into, especially because, in my opinion, Omar playing this very perfectly in that scenario.
Oh, I 100% agree. And I think one thing that's interesting about Omar is he's very good at reading people, but he also understands what everyone's motivation is. And so for Mike especially, his motivation is he kind of wants to be in control and kind of know what's going on. But the reality is he's really not. And Omar is pretty much knocking down that ego to bring him to a place of feeling not as confident as where he might have been previously.
Yeah, I feel the same. I'm liking Omar a lot. I feel that he is the one controlling this game right now. I really regret not picking him on my draft because I do see him as a winner. And yeah, I mean, all the moments he had on that episode with Mike were very revealing, and how easy he is to manipulate and use that knowledge that he has gotten from observing others and using that against them to gain power. So, yeah. Yeah, poor Mike think he is in control, and he's really, really not.
No, not at all. And Omer is very subtle with his moves too, and he knows how to word it correctly. Where it's just like a perfect example was, we'll get to it, but I want to like just bring it up real quick when they were on the reward, because Omer said, okay, I know how to talk to this person and what's going to send them coming my way, because they are, Omer's manipulating the situation by overemphasizing that was not necessarily spoken, but you're making them convinced that it was said. And then once someone is like told that, they're like, oh, I'm 100% against this person now, because Omer like structured it so well.
Yeah, once you plant that seed and
Mhm.
water it a little bit, just a little bit, it grows. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then we had Tori was eliminated from the game as well. And I think people were kind of like, all right, Tori's gone. I can take like a little bit of a breath. But I will say about Tori, I thought she was an entertaining person on the season. So I do miss having her on my screen, honestly.
I don't want to say a lot because I don't know. Um, yeah, I think she was cool on TV, and then some stuff has come out of it, you know. So
Yeah.
to me, those issues are very important. So now I'm like torn. Actually, I am torn on what to think about a lot of things right now. So,
Mm-hmm.
but she was good TV. She was definitely good TV.
That's what I mean. Like, she was good TV. She was entertaining. And I think that's definitely why she was casted for this season. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I agree. I think just for the sake of kind of like the podcast and like judging the players, I think it's important to remember like that there's like two different sides of it too. It's like the
Yeah.
outside of like person, and then there's just like the player in the game. So I think, for me, I think player in the game, she's really entertaining. Expressionate. She was very. Is that a word? I don't know. I made it up. And
She was really good at challenges.
Yeah.
She was really good at challenges. So I do feel that she might be possible to come back because she was a challenge piece, and I didn't expected that from her.
And we also have a comment about she was incredibly entertaining on the show.
Very solid villain.
Yeah, and I think
Yes.
she was. She's probably she's not one of our like best villains that we've seen, but we didn't really have a lot of villain players last season, really. So we're kind of getting these people that aren't like our stereotypical villains, and now they're being coined as villains in now seasons, like in this new school Age of Survivor.
Absolutely. And so, with that being said, too, we're going to jump right into the reward challenge, which I'm hit or miss with having reward challenges, especially because this season is so fast paced. But again, I do like it where it makes people make decisions when they do win, because then you're having to show your cards. Okay, I could be working with this person, or I might not be working with this person. What do y'all think about that?
Well, I think it definitely made Jonathan a little sad.
Yeah, but he has gotten like so many rewards already. I mean, other people have to eat.
Oh,
At this
I
point,
agree.
I did like the way that Lindsay chose the people that she chose. Based on that, I think it was a very political decision. And trying not to hurt anybody's feelings, but bring a reality. I mean, some people have eaten, let's the other eat. So that also, if she gets to the final, will be a good like thing to bring up. So it's a step on building a resume here.
For sure. And also to note, that rain was coming down like no other. It's just, you could just see people's bodies shutting down in that situation, because you legit, as Marianne was talking about too, you actually like can't move. And you can attest to this, where you just feel like your body is not going to be able to properly function like it should be.
Definitely that part remind me of our first challenge, the one with the numbers, the puzzle and the numbers, because Gabby, I think Jessica and me did sat down on that one, on the puzzle part, and it was unbearable. The rain was so bad, and you're not moving, you're not playing, so it's just shivers. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, I can't imagine because I haven't been there and done that. But like you can see it just on like their facial expressions and everything. And that's the thing too, because I know people are saying, yeah, 26 days isn't that difficult, but if it's raining like that and it's constantly hitting your body, it's going to take a taxing toll on you. And especially if you're not eating a ton and not staying hydrated, that makes it even worse as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But I do want to talk about the challenge just slightly. I think it was good where they have specific challenges where you don't have to like think too hard. You literally just have to go through the motions and get that done. And I think for Lindsay's game, it was important for her to win because it gave her an opportunity to solidify more allies. The only thing I would say, and I want to ask both of you this, do you think with her second choice of picking Mike to go on the reward, she picked him a little bit too quickly? Because it didn't look like she thought about him all that much. She literally was like instantly Mike.
I think that could have looked a little sketchy to maybe some of the other players. I think that even sometimes in the game, sometimes you have to just play up that you don't know or play up that you're thinking about something, even if you know, like you've known what you were going to do, 4 moves ago. Maybe sometimes it's still good to make it seem like you don't really know.
Yeah, and her like reasoning that she gave was like they've been talking about. I apologize about my blind cat. They've been talking about this for like forever since they won for them. So maybe she already had like that second choice stepped down, and she knew if she could pick a second person, she would pick Mike. Could have been that too.
That's also a strong possibility. But so they're going to head off and go to the sanctuary. But we're going back to camp and everything and having, looking for idols and all of that. And what's so interesting about this season, last season, correct me if I'm wrong, when the idols were played, they didn't re-hide anymore. There was no more idols besides the 3 that came from the pre-merge, right?
I don't think any idols were really played last season, though. There wasn't very many played.
But they were sent home like with an idol in their pocket, and so then nothing was reset. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't remember an idol being put back in the game. I don't remember that.
I don't either, because I think didn't Brad, he got voted out after it was activated, right?
So Nasir was eliminated with idol in pocket. Shan was eliminated with idol in pocket. Mm-hmm. And then this season, Marianne and Andrea both played their idols, and then they reactivated another idol after that happened. But last season, when the idols were eliminated, they did not reactivate another idol. So I found it interesting that they put another one in play. But I also think it's good because, as Marianne was stating, when she did find it, there's nothing with it. It's straight up an idol. And so I don't think people are going to necessarily realize that there could be another. I think they're going to think there's another idol out there, but it's kind of good because now no one knows about this one. I think it's
who has it, yeah,
to not tell anybody. I think once she gets it, don't tell anybody about that idol because no one's going to think that she has another one.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And Lindsay was so close. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, she barely touched it. That's exactly how I didn't want it to look. Because everybody's looking the whole time. And I did look around where it was, but Davey already had it. So I remember telling the camera people, like, I hope that I don't look stupid and it's like super close, or that somebody already got it. And somebody already got it, which was way better than just like passing by it. That would have hurt way more. So close. And I'm in a way, I'm very happy that Marianne got it, even though Lindsay is on my draft. I think that Marianne needs it more in the game.
I agree with that too.
I do think she definitely needs it more, but I think she now knows that how to play this in this scenario because she was in the situation where it's a known idol. Everyone knows that I have it. But this one, if I keep it hidden, people aren't going to necessarily know when I'm going to play it. And I do think now she has allies that are going to let her know, hey, your name's on the docket, because it's been talked about, because you saw the conversation between Lindsay and Omar. Lindsay is not on the Jonathan train anymore because she thinks Jonathan is not thinking strategically. So I want to get y'all's take on that.
Yeah, I don't think Jonathan, he doesn't seem very strong strategically. Not as strong as some of the other players in the game, especially. I think he is really a brawn player, and he's a good
Hmm.
social player too. But brawn only gets you so far in merge type challenges. But
Yeah, I feel.
there's also a chance he could make an immunity run. You never know.
Yeah, I think that he's possibly basing his whole game on like beast challenge and social, and sometimes you have to do some strategy because that too can any component that if you just focus too much on it, you need anything else, or that's gonna be like the death for you. You need to like strategize and like do an all round game, and I think he's just focusing on just two things.
I will say, I think at the beginning of the game, he showcased a little bit more strategic chops, but then when it came into the merge, I feel as though that kind of like fell off a little bit. And that I actually am enjoying this because now we're seeing Lindsay's point of view and Lindsay's side. And I actually think Lindsay is playing very strategically right now and has people that are in her corner that want to go far with her.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think also that I feel that a lot of them were still keeping Jonathan for like a shield. It hasn't been said. Maybe that was one of the reasons. And now that you're getting closer to the end, you need to start like playing your game and taking these people out because you want to shine before the game ends.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. I mean, if I was in the game, Jonathan would be a great meat shield. So why not?
That's very true. And honestly, I will say I'm surprised that Jonathan has made it as far because typically
Mm-hmm.
players like him normally go out first or second in the merge. So now I'm thinking to myself, how much further are people going to want to take Jonathan? Because you see the dilemma that was happening before. Oh, hi, or Jonathan, and bringing up your point, Sarah, Jonathan could potentially go on an immunity run, and so then it could be too late to get him.
Yeah, but if you're not playing strategy and not, he can get to the end because he won things, but if you're not making any move except that, you know what? That doesn't guarantee you
Mm-hmm.
that, right? So they can keep him as long as he's not making any move. Maybe that's also another reason we're keeping him because he's really not making any moves. He's not gonna get any votes. It can be possible.
Yeah, he's right now. So I'll ask both of you the same question. So right now, who do you think are the top contenders to win if they get to the end based on the game they played thus far? And who do you think are the players that, if they get to the end, saying now, have no shot in hell to win this game?
I think we've all said Omer has a good shot to win. I think he's playing a really great strategy game. I think he's great socially, and
Hmm.
he hasn't been terrible in challenges. Yeah, he hasn't won, but challenges aren't everything.
Yeah, I feel that right now it's for me the top three people are Marianne, Lindsay, and Omar. I think they're playing really good games, even though Marianne's name has come up a lot. She has been able to like move around it, right? Um, so yeah, I think those are playing like really good games now.
I agree with that, but I also want to add one other person. I would add Drea to the list in the sense of if she plays her advantages that she has right now in a really good way, I think then that can create something for her to be able to talk about if she gets to the end game and sits there and says, I did all these specific moves. But again, we've talked about before, every jury member base their decision on who they're voting for differently because some people respect, okay, they had all these advantages, they had all of this, but other people could respect this person made it all the way to the end with no advantages and was able to maneuver themselves there. So it's so interesting how people base their votes on the end game depending on who's sitting in the end.
Mm-hmm. I completely
Yeah,
agree. You just never know.
I also forgot a little bit about Drea because she was not that present this episode. She was a little bit edited out. So I suddenly forgot she had all of that.
Yeah, she has a lot
She's
right
so
now.
stacked. Yeah, she's
Mhm.
stacked.
Yeah, that can also make you too confident. So that's the only worry I have for her. But I think she's played well. She people know about some of her and advantages, and I think that's really smart because then they're not going to expect that she has like 4 advantages. They're going to expect, oh, she has the one advantage that she's told me about. I can't even keep track. How many does she have now? 3, 4?
I believe 3.
She has the amulet, right?
Yeah, she's the idol. She's an idol, right?
No,
she
she
burned
played
her-
it.
she burned
She
her
she
idol.
played the idol. She played
Okay.
the idol, and she has. Does she has a steal a vote too?
I think that or an extra vote.
And then
Something like that.
And then she has like the knowledge is power thing.
So she's had 4 altogether.
Yeah, she's
That's
stacked.
wild. That's wild to have that many advantages. And also, too, I feel as though that would stress like anybody out because then you're having to weigh, do I play it? Do I not play it? Is this going to be useful and beneficial? Because even we've seen in seasons past when someone has, an extra vote, typically it gets played incorrectly where it's not even a factor within that vote specifically for a specific person to go home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it sort of just kind of depends on the situation and how that's going to be utilized. I will say Romeo to me, I feel as though started off very, very strong, but then when we got to the merge, just hasn't found his footing yet. But I do think Romeo could be utilized in people's games to help like steer a vote. So I'm not going to write Romeo off completely because essentially, in my mind, he is the underdog story if he were to get to the end because so many people wanted him out and he continued to stay. He continued to fight. And that's why I'm saying with this season in particular, I don't think there's anyone that I'm going to sit here and say they have a 0% chance to win because I think this game is still wide open.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sarah.
I was gonna say I think I agree with you with that. I think that's the difference between this season and last season. Whereas last season we knew, I mean, if Heather won, I would have been shocked, but I think we all knew that wasn't going to happen. Watching the game back, or we had an idea of people that won it. But this one, you're right. I think anybody really has the potential to win. It's just how they sell their game. I'm a very big believer that final tribal is what can make or break you.
Something that I found interesting that I think Devins tweeted. Was it Devins or who was it? I forgot. I think Devin replied. Is that I haven't seen straight up alliances. Like everybody's very open. They are all very open to swing around and change alliances in a good way. I don't feel that they have been like big. You have some seasons when people like flip, and the others go wild on them. And I think that they all are so open with their chances of playing with everybody that I don't know if there's like super extra tie alliances that is like you and I to the end, right? We have seen it, but they have not continued and showed that to us. So I feel that when you brought it's a very open game. Yeah, it seems it's very open right now because I don't feel there's anything set in stone with people yet.
Well, it's funny you bring that up too because the pre-merge, you could see who was, duoed up and paired up. But since the merge happened, those duos have kind of split because Drea and Romeo were very, very tight, as well as Jonathan and Omar. And I think they decided, okay, I'm not wanting to work with the same specific people that they're working with, so I'm going to do my own game at this point. And I think that's why the season is so fluid at the moment. And also, I think the timing of the season plays a factor as well because it is so fast paced that people are saying, I'm willing to work with anybody in the game. Whereas if you're in a 39 game, you have more time to develop those relationships and it makes it harder to break those specific bonds.
Definitely.
But yeah, moving on to, they go on the reward for, the pizza and the beer. And we've had this debate before on this podcast about the pizza. So Lyrsa, just take it away.
Pizza is not bad. Again, it's not Regina's, but it's not terrible. It's not Kmart pizza. Come on, it's very rare that you can mess up pizza. What is it? Bread, sauce, and cheese? Like, come on, guys. I mean, but yeah, I was so happy that it kind of looked good too. And I like the reward. I know that possibly because of COVID, we're not doing like actual loved one visits. So seeing their families and, what who they are outside of the game was like such a beautiful moment. Such a beautiful moment. As always, I always cry on the family visit.
Oh.
Um, yeah, it's emotional. I didn't get to be on that part of the game, but I bet it's the best feeling to finally see somebody that supports you regardless, right? But the pizza, yes, the pizza is good. The pizza is good. It's decent, guys. Come on. It's not that Fiji is well known for their pizza, anyways. Come on, let's be real.
Yeah, I've never heard of Fiji and their staple of pizza.
Yeah, it's not like they have a Fijian pizza. It's not like Hawaiian pizza, right? The
Yeah.
Hawaiians have their Hawaiian pizza. It's not like Fiji pizza. So yeah, they do good for what they have.
Mhm.
I just want you to settle the debate because we've heard mixtures from Survivor players. The pizza sucks. It's the worst thing. I never would want to go on that reward. It's not good.
Okay, so we had pizza the day before. I had pizza in Fiji 3 times. The first time was the day before going into the game, and it was delicious. I had like 5 slices of pizza, which I never do. It was really good. And then when we were leaving Fiji for the Premier Year's trip, that I'm so sorry that nobody has gotten that Premier Year's trip after, I think, my season. We were the
Oh,
last
really?
ones. Yes, because then the next season was
Edge.
the Edge,
Yeah.
and then what came after it? It was something too
Island of
that,
the Idols was after that.
yeah, but I don't remember them getting a trip. I don't remember. I think they possibly did. Possibly. And then we had what, Winners at War, and they also stay there, so no trip. And then COVID happened for 41 and 42, so they also didn't go to the Premier Year's trip. So I feel
Oh.
very blessed. But the day before leaving for that trip, we also had pizza, and it was also good. I had my stomach a little bit upset because I just came out of the game, so I wasn't eating
Mhm.
that much because my stomach was fucked up. But what I had, it was good. It didn't give me pains, so it was good. And then when I went on vacation, we did that catamaran 1 whole day thing, and you pay like some money and you get food and alcohol in the boat, and they have pizza, and it was also good. So I have had zero complaints about the pizza in Fiji.
There
All
you
right,
have
good
it,
to know.
folks. We got
Yeah,
it. We got it right here. All the knowledge that we need regarding pizza. I never thought we could
three
talk about
different
pizza.
three different situations, 3 different places. So 3 different experiences, and I'm alive. It wasn't bad.
There you go. So I do want to bring this up as well too, because it's so interesting when people do leave to go on a reward, because then you have the people left back at camp. And this reward in particular, there was 3 of them, and then 5 others
Right.
back. And I found it interesting that there really was, from what we weren't shown it, no strategy talk about like the 3 that were on the reward, because you see many a times when people don't get picked, they get really upset, really, really bitter about it. And so that's why I'm saying I think Lindsay's doing decently well with what her game plan is, because no one was ticked off really that she did not select them.
Yeah, or they just weren't talking about it. So I bet Jonathan was. He seemed like he was a little upset. Like I don't know. I looked at his eyes, and he just looked upset to me.
He looked disappointed.
Yeah. Which I mean, I don't blame him. They're all shivering there. I'd be disappointed too. So I get it. But yeah, it was interesting that there wasn't a lot of that strategy talk that you usually see, or you usually see, like you said, that one person who's just really upset about it. Like we need to go against these people and starting a little chaos. So
They're
we didn't really
talking strategy. Those 3 are gonna say final 3 right now, which I don't. Did they said that even on the? They didn't say that.
I don't
Usually that happens. Usually you go on reward, and whoever you go to reward with, you say like, "Oh, this is us. It's gonna be us." I didn't see that. I did saw obviously Omar saying what he said,
Mhm.
right? Mike reacting to that, but I didn't see this whole like, okay, it's gonna be us again. A very open game. They're playing a very open game.
Mhm.
Right. It is open. And I think for us as viewers, that's what makes it interesting because it's not predictable. Because from week to week, they've done really well with the editing, in my opinion. Some votes going into the tribal council, I have a feeling it's between one or two people, but it's not clear cut which person is going to go home.
Yeah, I think they did that also with 41, because at the end I think plenty of us were very surprised about Erica, not saying that she didn't play the game, but we didn't see that part. I don't feel I saw that part, right? So yeah, it just went out of my mind. The editing, yeah, they've been doing a great job about. I think they're doing a great job of keeping it a mystery. I feel that seasons before, the editing was so clear about who was winning because they were getting this, winners edit. And I feel that after 41 and 42, they all have been pretty good about bringing us people to a full circle. So, yes, editing. That's what I think about the editing. They've been doing a great job.
Yeah, I agree. It hasn't been like clear cut, and I think in past seasons, it kind of stinks when you get somebody and you're just kind of like, oh yeah, they're definitely gonna win, or oh that person's gonna get voted out. Ooh, and I feel like in the season you're getting a little bit of that ride, that roller coaster that we may have not always gotten.
Maybe it's also because it's such an open game, and last season was similar too, in a way that they're giving everybody the chance to shine and showing everybody and just keeping us like, because they're so open, let's just feature everybody also, I guess.
Yeah, they did better this season than last season, that's for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
And even so, Lindsay going into the merge, I believe, was the person we knew the least about. But now her editing is picking back up, and I'm going, okay, I'm seeing Lindsay's game, and that's what I want to see. I want to know what her game style is, what she's thinking, and I'm glad that they're showing that to us now. And I want to point out with the reward, I wish they would have said that you would see videos from your loved ones, because I think that really could have impacted some of the decision making. And that's what I've talked about before, loved ones challenges, that makes or breaks people's games by winning that, because people get so upset with that. And I think that could have made it a bit more of a factor and made it more interesting to see the picking and the choosing, because people get more emotional about that. They're just thinking, okay, it's pizza, beer, I'm going to go stay dry. But when you put in, oh, I get to see my family, that changes the game.
100% agree.
So I'm just saying, pitching it for the future. If you want a little bit more drama, maybe add that in there. Because if I'm out there on that reward, no way in hell I am telling anybody that is left behind back at camp that we got to see our loved ones. Absolutely not.
Yeah. No. Maybe that's also one of the reasons that they didn't fight about this reward. Nobody knew what was going to happen. Nobody was bitter. It was just pizza and they were going to stay dry. So.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
For sure. But yeah, let's jump into the immunity challenge, which honestly, I kind of like this challenge because it's some balancing, but yes, you also have to have concentration, and it's a little bit, willpower, because it can be kind of painful to like stand up there and then making sure that, oh, I'm not going to fall or anything. So what is y'all's take about how the challenge kind of shook out, and did you actually think going into it that this was something that Lindsay was going to be good at?
I'm not shocked that Lindsay did really well, knowing that she's into fitness, that she probably, her legs, she looks very like she's got strong legs.
Yeah.
So her balancing skills, that's a big piece of being a trainer, is teaching balancing. So I'm not shocked at all.
I have to be honest, I didn't thought Jonathan was going to last that long, to be honest, because he's so big, and usually in these balancing challenges, big people don't do good on them. They lose their balance really quick, and I was very surprised that he made it that far into it. But I had a feeling that Lindsay had a really good chance of winning this one, just by what has been transparent before the challenge. I feel like I think that she has really good chances, or be like, final two on the challenge and maybe not winning.
I think too, it's also easier as well for people that have smaller feet because it gets
Yes.
100. Yeah, I'm right there with you. If you have small feet, it's so
Yes.
much easier because you have more of the perch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I do know what you mean because all the things I practiced before getting there was balancing in really, really tiny little blocks because I knew that shit was gonna come, right? So and my feet are like baby size. I still buy kid size. I cannot even find like proper heels for me because they're like way big, even size 5. So I have baby feet,
Wow.
and yes, all my sneakers are like fucking cheap because I buy on the kid size. So I
Hell
will
yeah,
have done
though.
really
That's great. I would want that too.
Me too.
yeah. It's fantastic. Let me tell you, it's fantastic, and I always get like super rad shoes because they're like kids shoes. So whatever. But yeah, man, yeah, people with tiny feet rock at this shit.
Well,
It
it's funny
hurts.
too. It brings back a memory for me, all the way back to season 20, Heroes versus Villains, where they had that challenge where they had to stand on like the perch inside the being boxed in, and they read true mail, and Rupert goes, "I'm going to be so good at this challenge," and JT sitting there going, normally the girls with tiny feet are good at this challenge. And that's just a moment I cracked up about because he's like,
Oh.
"I'm gonna rock this," and he did not rock it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, what's you have a really good memory. Completely forgot about that.
I just have a good survivor memory. Everything else might not like completely like check off, but that's okay. That's why we do the podcast, right? Because we can remember
Yeah,
this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely.
And we like the stories that you tell us because every time that you come on, you always tell us a new story, and I think it's fantastic.
Yes, I do love that.
I try to like update my, index cards about, things that happen. So bring something new to the game.
Love that.
Absolutely. So Lindsay wins immunity, safe from the vote, and I mean honestly,
Yes.
at this stage in the game, final 8, you want that immunity for sure.
Yes, it's awesome. Go, Lindsay.
Going back to camp, then the strategizing really begun. And I honestly liked the progression of this strategy going into the tribal council because we saw so many different thoughts and opinions. So what did y'all think about the strategy portion before we get to tribal council and the vote?
You're gonna be so disappointed in me because both of the times I saw this episode, something happened that I had to leave at that point, and all I remember is that Jonathan was very worried it was gonna be him, and I think it was High telling me, no, it's not gonna be you, and then saying like, but it's gonna be him, and it wasn't him. It was poor High. That's all I can remember from all the strategy, to be honest.
Yeah, there was a lot going on at that point, and it was interesting because it just felt like Omar was really just running things. But it's also interesting to see how Lindsay was she's like, I want Jonathan out, and she was pretty decently quick to back down off the Jonathan train and go onto the High train. Seems like.
I think too because Lindsay, in my opinion, has the awareness to know, okay, I might not need to like drive this particular vote. I can sit back and let someone else do it because I think she has the awareness to know these people are putting targets on their back. Because look what happened in High, for example. High on the last vote kind of steered the ship with that. And then all of a sudden, the next vote then flips on him. High's going home. So I think Lindsay is buying her time potentially to saying, all right, I can wait to make my move, but I will be making my move.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting because because this game is not as set, it's an open game. Everybody's been a driver. Like on every single like tribal, everybody jumps in and drives, and then some of them get affected by their driving and their license is taken away, like for High.
Oh, poor buddy.
They get pulled over by the cop, and
yeah, you were speeding too fast. Too much control. Goodbye. So yeah, yes. I think that Lindsay didn't have to have any control on this one, and it was good to let other people drive today. Which who knows, because from the previews, maybe who's gonna be the next driver leaving? We don't know. So many possibilities.
The next driver leaving.
Or like, is the cop Jeff Probst?
Ooh.
With his torch, like his like snuffer.
I mean,
His hair is getting longer. He's like doing. I think he's copying me. His hair is like looking so different. I don't know. He looks so different now from
He
the time I
does.
met him. Yeah, maybe he is becoming a cop. Who knows?
Maybe.
well, speaking of Jeff and meeting him, I've never asked you this before. What was your like initial reaction when y'all got there and just seeing Jeff introducing the season and all that? How did you feel? Like, what was going through your mind?
So that's not the first time you meet Jeff.
But like when the season starts, like I know you meet Jeff.
Oh,
Like
when
in
this.
casting
Oh
and stuff,
yeah,
but when the
it is
season
funny
starts-
because somebody was saying that, and I actually replied to that tweet too. One of the few I replies back that it's very overwhelming because you've been dreaming about this whole time, and you have met Jeff, so you know, like you have seen him, you have talked to him before, but it's like, oh, it feels like it's the first time you see him, right? It's a very overwhelming, and it's like it's like when you like somebody and you want to talk to them but you really don't want to talk to them, and he's gonna start talking to people and be like, hey lady, you with the purple hair, and you want to be that person but also you don't want to be that person because like you're so shy about it. So that's how I felt about it. I don't know other people, but it was like a very overwhelming feeling. It didn't hit until he actually called my name and I spoke with him. So when I was like, "You purple hair lady," it's it's very intimidating. It's so many emotions. Hi, baby.
does Jeff talk to every single person, or
No,
does he just kind of bop around to like specific people?
he talks to some of the people, but he doesn't talk to everybody. Like I don't remember him talking to B
Okay.
or to Jessica. I think she grabbed the buffs. I don't remember him talking directly to her. I know that he obviously talked to Pat and to Christian. I did talk, and I think Gabby did too. And from the Goliaths, he talked about with a couple of them, but not all of them. So it's random. It's like in school when you like haven't read, you know, the assignment and they do a pop quiz, but it's like verbal one and you have to answer the question and you don't know what you're gonna get. So and you don't know if you're gonna get called. So it's like a lot of emotions. Again, a lot of emotions.
Almost standing in the back hiding. Please don't call on me, but like I kind of want you to call on me because I have something that I would like to say. So it's kind of that balancing piece.
Yes, I did read the paper and I want you to ask me because I want to show you I'm very smart, but at the same time, I don't want to look stupid. So please don't call me. It's that kind of feeling. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I understand the feeling you mean, especially when you brought up like the having a crush on somebody and you really want to talk to them, but you're really shy to talk to them, but it's also really exciting and it's just it gives you a lot of feelings.
Also, what you guys don't see is that right behind him, there is like 1,000 cameras and like 1,000 people. So it's not just him and a couple of cameras. It's like a very it's like somebody said, it's like going to war. It's a very stressful, overwhelming situation, and I was not expecting that. Also, I was expecting the dream team and they told me like, that's just for TV, girl. That's not, you're not gonna see them. I'm like, fuck. So
when
yeah,
the
I thought,
were announced, you were like, is someone going to show me how to do this so then I can like get the reference and how to strategize?
yes, no, they only do that for the camera. I didn't know that, right? So they say what the challenge is, and I'm like waiting there, like waiting for these people to come out and looking like, where are they? They're not coming out. And I'm like, where's the dream team? And they're like, no, there's no dream team. That's just for like the viewers. We're gonna walk through it and we'll show you how it's done. Like we'll tell you how the course is and then you figure it out. Like they just throw you there and like, okay. So yes, that was me. being very stupid thinking the dream team was gonna be there.
Oh,
I just really wanted to meet who was the player playing me on the dream team.
oh, that
That was
would.
that's all I wanted to know. Who's playing me? Who's gonna be Purple Lady?
Who's gonna be
That's
purple?
all.
Well, and two, you had a lot of stress at the beginning because then you had to compete in that challenge essentially right away.
Yeah, maybe my experience on the first time, like getting to the challenge and talking to Jeff, like that first moment, maybe it's probably not the same for somebody else, for example, B, because she didn't have the pressure to either talk to him or to run the course, right? My experience is definitely different, and like on a first meeting situation or first episode, it was very different because I was like part of it, right? So very overwhelming. But in the end, I won. Ba 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 ba. So yes,
That's all that matters at
yes,
the end of the day.
yeah. People are watching the season now that it's on Netflix, and they're like texting me like, "Oh, we're gonna watch your season." Like, just watch the first episode; it's fine. Or when I have met people and they get to know, they're like, "Oh, I haven't seen it." I'm like, you don't have to. Just the first one. Just watch the first one, which is where I shine the most, and then you can skip the rest of the season if you want to. Like, it's totally fine.
Oh no, you can't skip Jacket Gate. Like that cannot be skipped.
No, yeah, people get excited and they stay watching. And then once, at least the people that are watching it because of me, obviously, after there's a high percentage of people that after I'm done, they're done too. They get very upset, even though they already know I lost, which is why I don't get why people watching now are getting upset. Like friends of mine, like, oh, I stopped after they voted you out. I'm like, but you knew I didn't win. So like it's not like you should be disappointed
Yeah.
or upset. You knew this fact. But yeah, a lot of people just stop watching. I do encourage them, like keep watching, it's a good season, right? I feel it's one of the best seasons. So
Yep,
but that's just me.
I agree. Love all the insight.
It is a fun season. It is very
That
fun.
was the insight for today's episode. Need to save some for future podcast episodes.
I know, right? You have to just sprinkle a little bit so then people come back wanting more information. We love to see it. We love to hear it.
Yep.
And I feel that my 5 years are gonna be done very soon. And that's when I can really say all this shit, guys.
Ooh,
Mark
that's
your
exciting.
calendars. Yeah, I think it's 5 years. I don't know.
We'll just
I don't know how
exclusive
far.
interview then. Exclusive interview where Lyrsa spills all. Like then you just come on and tell us everything that we need to know.
Ooh, a ladies'
Maybe
night exclusive.
maybe the year like 6 months before my NDA like expires, they invite me back in, so I can't say anything again. Like, haha, prisoner, can't say shit because we know that you want to say shit. So
Maybe they'll do that, but I would prefer I would prefer to see you play again. So I'm fine if that isn't.
oh, I would love to play the game again, even if I'm the first one out. Like, I will even be fine with that. Wouldn't want to. I feel that now I have more experience and I feel more comfortable around people. I was very uncomfortable. Like, I have social anxiety. I discovered that. So, but now I know how to manage it, and I think I will do like way better. I feel that second time players do better than their first season because now you feel comfortable and you know what's gonna happen, right? So I was like at least a person with like social anxiety, right? And a person like me that I'm like not from this country, sorry for saying it again and again and again, right? And experience all of these people that it was very uncomfortable. I didn't know what to do, but on a second time I know exactly what to do. I already have vibe with other people. Like, I feel I have found my niche inside of this, right? You know what I mean?
No, that makes
So,
perfect sense. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine moving to another country and playing Survivor and just being expected to just know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
So,
it was everything like in the span of a year. So I still needed to like learn a lot. Not like we were like Puerto Ricans are on culture and we don't know about the US, but living here is a different experience, right? So going through all of those experiences at the same times was like interesting.
oh, I bet.
For sure.
Sorry, my kid, Mother's Day. My kid wants to play with me because it's Mother's Day.
As always,
Oh.
we don't get to see. No, not gonna
Patata,
go.
come here.
There we go.
Come here. Ven acá. No, she's like,
Mother,
yes.
I was gonna say,
She'll
Mother's
come
Day
in a
is Tuesday.
second. Mira, ven acá, que te quieren saludar. Ven acá. Come here. No, she's
No,
camera shy today.
Today's not the day, but
One
that's
day.
Like,
okay.
Mom, I haven't done my hair today. No, wow, she's very fast today. Yeah,
a
she's
little
not up for
feisty
it.
today. Yes, but let's jump into this tribal and talk about the vote, kind of people's thought processes behind the vote. So where are y'all thinking, and do you think this was the right move for people to take out High?
I do. I think High is scarier than Jonathan, especially in the strategic point of view. I think that Jonathan's always going to be a target. So that's never going to go away. And I mean, knowing, and a lot of these people are fans and know that Jonathan's not the kind of player who's going to do good in these challenges. Hopefully they're thinking that.
Yeah, I mean, High was, aside of Omar, he was really running the game. I feel that he had a lot of control. He had a lot of power, even though he said that he wasn't driving. Honey, you were driving.
Mm-hmm.
You were. So I think that yeah, it was a good choice. Who else has, aside from, let's say, Drea, who else has had, I feel that he is, until he voted, one of the most powerful players in the game, right? Because of his knowledge and his strategy. So I think it was a good call to get him out, because as you guys said, and we talked about it early, I don't feel Jonathan can win every single challenge. So just losing this one, I think, kind of like might help him to stay. You know what I mean? He wasn't a threat on that challenge, even though he got far, he couldn't win. So possibly they're like, okay, so he didn't win this one, he possibly can't win them all, so let's go and like vote out the strategists that can definitely make moves and get to the end.
Yeah, I agree.
I think, in my mind, I think it was the right move for pretty much every single person to take out High on this round. And I will say this too, I appreciate High so much with the way High took it, getting voted out. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, okay, High respects gameplay, which as a jury member, people are seeing his reaction going, okay, if I can explain to High that why this was a good move for me, High's probably going to potentially vote for me because he's going to respect it. And I think that that's why it's so interesting, because we've talked about this before. Every jury member based their decision on that vote on something different. And I think High is going to go for his vote, whoever like steered the ship in taking him out, which in my opinion, the person that did that in this episode was Omar, even though other people think that they were the ones that were in charge of this vote and that this is their specific move.
Also, I feel that he was very happy because it didn't transpire that Omar told Mike what he said, which he didn't say. So now when he goes back and the next person comes out, or whoever, if Mike comes out, he'll learn exactly how it was played, right? That he controlled that vote because he said a lie about him saying something that he didn't say. So that might change, right? His feeling about being like blindsided can change once he finds out that it was because of a lie.
Absolutely. It changes for sure. I guarantee it. But do y'all have any other thoughts on this episode before we wrap it up?
Nothing I can think of that hasn't been already said.
Yeah. I feel it was more of a filler episode than like a very dramatic one.
I would agree with that. I think we've had a lot of really dramatic.
We had those, yeah. They needed to chill a little bit.
Yeah. They're like, whew, too much in one little bit. We need to.
Yeah, the hashtag Survivor and hashtag Woke has been like trending too much together. We need to like chill a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely. Definitely chill on that. But Lyrsa, thank you so much for coming on. We love having you. You're kicking ass, doing better than me in the draft. So, you know.
Yes, I still have 3.
How?
I don't think one of them is gonna win. But well, Lindsay has a good shot of winning right now. But I feel that Sarah has way better chances of winning this draft.
I do too.
Give the breakdown so everyone knows who y'all have, because the only person I have that's left is Marianne, which, you know what, maybe, but I think I had a tough road, okay? I had the first boot, so I had to add more money to the pot. I mean, come on, people. This is not the Lauren show with the fantasy draft.
But you both still have really good contenders, right? I only have one really good contender, I feel, at the moment, right now. We're not saying what's going to happen next week or in the future episodes. I still have Lindsay, which this episode was great for her. And I have Jonathan and Romeo. So I think I'm going to lose Jonathan really quick. I think I'll lose him first, then Romeo.
You're probably right. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, or Romeo gets just brought to the end. That could be another.
That's also true too.
I mean, I have Omer, and I think he has a good shot at winning. I love Omer. I love his little I mean, okay, but can we say I feel like Omar is also kind of like a villain of the season for sure. I mean, Tori had all of it, but I mean, Omar is a great villain. But he's Brady villain.
Yeah, but he's being portrayed as a kind of like a good villain, right? A fun one to watch. It's not like, oh my god, this person again. No, it's like, oh, what is Omar gonna do right now?
He's the villain with the good social game.
Yep.
Yes,
for sure, hands down.
Kind of like Parvati.
Yeah,
a little bit.
You know, actually, yeah,
maybe
that's a good. But Parvati, I think she's a little bit better at challenges. But I don't know if we've really seen Omar could be better. We'll see.
And we haven't seen it yet. Yes.
Yeah. And there's still plenty of game to go.
He's a delightful person. Like every episode, I send him a message like, man, you were so good. And I think I did tell him that I regret not having him in my draft already. So, yeah. He knows. He knows.
Tell him the lovely Sarah has him in her draft. And then she has her own podcast, no big deal.
Yeah, now that's my thing too. Now, see, here's the deal, Lyrsa. People could be throwing some shit at you, like for future seasons as well. You didn't pick me. What's up with that? I'm expecting that to start happening for you.
I'm gonna be a very polite person when picking people for rewards. So we'll see. We'll see if I play again and who I play with. Right? I know definitely like, oh my god, if I play with Kelly with Wentworth, I will definitely take Wentworth to reward. But it's because like I feel I have a connection outside of like the whole, Survivor universe. So
yeah,
definitely. Kelly, you'll be on the list.
You'll be on the list. It's like a long list. You have your long list of people are like, maybe, and then you have your short list where you're like, hands down 110%.
Yeah, I call bullshit. I will like take people I have connections with probably outside of the game. Because if Charisma were there, I will also take Charisma because Charisma and I have a really good relationship. Like, yeah, because of Survivor, like outside of it too. So, congratulations to her. She just had a baby. It's a beautiful baby boy, by the way.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes. Love that.
Yes, new mom.
Yes, happy Mother's Day.
Yes, and all the moms. Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Absolutely. So with that, Lyrsa, yeah, again, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure we will have you on for another episode this season. Maybe the finale. I'm kind of feeling you should maybe come on for the finale.
You're gonna say bye.
Oh,
You're gonna say bye.
There's the buddy on here.
Oh. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day is like, I have to
the Happy Mother's Day brought the pupper to you.
Yeah. Enough. Say hi,
buddy.
So
you're so cute.
For people listening, you gotta check out the video for all the cuteness. I'm sorry that you can't get that in the audio version. But with that being said, Sarah, take us home.
All right. So we have this show. Hopefully we'll be here next Monday. If scheduling pertains. We also have Brent and Bobby who cover BB on Wednesdays, as well as Johnny, Alex, and Matt who cover the episode right after it airs. And then we also have the deep dive that happens throughout the week. It depends on the week. And then I have my show, which will come back in the future, The Mind After the Game.
All right. Well, with that, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the podcast. Again, Lyrsa, thank you. Sarah, thank you as always. Everyone take care and happy Mother's Day.
Bye.
Bye, guys.